All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over the answers to the Pythagorean theorem parent guide numbers 7 through 12. For each of these, you're going to draw a diagram, write an equation using Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and solve for the missing side, rounding your answers to the nearest hundredth. So for 7, we have a television. We want to find the length of the diagonal. It says that the TV screen is 30 by 35. This is not drawn to scale. Here's my right angle as it's a rectangle, and I'm looking for the length of the hypotenuse. So I'm looking for length C. So I'm going to plug in my values. 30 squared plus 35 squared equals C squared. I'm going to square each of these. 30 squared is 900. 35 squared is 1,225. I'm going to add those together. That gives me 2,125. And when I take the square root of both sides, I get approximately 46.1. And this is going to be in inches. All right, number 8. A 9-meter ladder is 1 meter from the base of a building. How high up the building will the ladder reach? So here's my building, and leaning up against it is a ladder. The ladder is 9 meters, and it says that the base, the ladder is 1 meter from the base of the building, so that's right here. So this time, they're giving me the hypotenuse. C is 9, and I'm solving for one of the legs, so I'm solving for A or B. I'm just going to use B for this one. So I have 1 squared plus b squared equals 9 squared. Again, this time they gave me the diagonal, so that's why I have a value for C. 1 squared is 1. 9 squared is 81. I'm going to subtract 1 to both sides. I get b squared equals 80, and I take the square root of 80, which is approximately 8.94, and this is going to be in meters. So the ladder will reach up about 8.94 meters on the building. Number 9, Sam drove 8 miles south, and then he drove 5 miles west. So this is 8, and this is 5. And we're looking for how far is he from where he started. We're looking for the diagonal, the hypotenuse for this one. So I'm looking for C. So I have 5 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. 5 squared is 25, 8 squared is 64. I'm going to add those together. That gives me 89. And when I take the square root of 89, I get approximately 9.43 miles. So he's about 9.43 miles from where he started. Number 10, the length of a hypotenuse of a right triangle is 6 centimeters. If one leg is 4, how long is the other leg? So this time they're telling me that the hypotenuse is 6, and they tell me that one leg is 4 centimeters. So I'm just solving for another leg. 6 is the hypotenuse. So in this equation, I know that this is where the 6 is going to go in for C. And I'm going to solve for one of my legs. So I have 4 squared, which is 16, and 6 squared, which is 36. Subtracting 16 to both sides, I get b squared equals 20. And then I'm going to take the square root of 20. So I get that b is approximately 4.47 centimeters. That's the length of the other side of the triangle. All right, number 11. Find the length of a path that runs diagonally across a 55 by 100 yard field. So here's my right angle. We're looking for the diagonal, the hypotenuse, that's C. So I have 55 squared plus 100 squared equals C squared. 55 squared is 3,025. 100 squared is 10,000. I add those together, I get 13,225. And Then I take the square root of 1302 of 13,025, and I get approximately 114.13 yards when I take the square root. All right, and the last one, we have a suitcase. The suitcase measures 1.5 feet by 2.5 feet, and I want to know how long an umbrella will fit in the suitcase. So the longest length is going to be the diagonal, so I can fit it diagonally on the suitcase. So I need to figure out what length I can fit in here. So I'm solving for a hypotenuse since it's the diagonal across from the right angle. So I have 1.5 squared plus 2.5 squared equals c squared. 1.5 squared is 2.25. 2.5 squared is 6.25. I add those together and I get 8.5. And finally, taking the square root of 8.5, I get that the umbrella can be approximately 2.92 feet in length. So that's how you use Pythagorean theorem, by drawing a diagram and coming up with the missing side.